How did you get started working in the film industry?
Okay, I'll pass to introduce myself. My name is Tony Tong. I'm a freelance editor and colorist. How did I get started in the industry? Well, uh, actually, it started way back in high school. You know, my interest in film. I took a film analysis class back in high school, and it was taught by actually the son of an Academy Award winning. Uh, he was actually a composer, so his dad actually won the Academy Award back in the 30s. So I went to that class, and I got fascinated with film. And he actually one day came in with the Oscar statue and passed it around in class. So that was pretty awesome. Just whole that piece of hardware, and right there, I knew that I had an interest in film. And then so in college, I basically majored in film and TV that I did. And then when I got to my job, my first job, was I've been there for a long time. Actually, oddly enough, I didn't start as being a filmmaker. I was actually a technician in the beginning because I was thinking more practical. Try to learn the electronic, how to fix decks, that kind of thing. But just being around with other filmmakers, I noticed that I'd rather be doing what they're doing than be fixing decks and fixing equipment. So it kind of like slowly gravitated to editing because I see that that's something that which I think is a very creative process. And just seeing this editor putting like a puzzle together, I find that fascinating. So that's why I got into it. So, and I pretty much did that on the side. That's why I myself feel like I do a lot of this on the side, and I got in jobs over the years working in different genres. So like anywhere from could be short film, even from like music video, could be a commercial, up to long form. I've done documentary. I've done like maybe industrial video. I mean, you name it. What kind of genre I've done that before.
Why did you choose to be an editor instead of being in any other film job?
Well, between being an editor, maybe or director, producer, cinematographer, I mean, at the time, I was kind of like maybe, I had an interest in cinematography at the time, but that's involved a lot of production work because I've been on sets, quite a bit. So I've been on sets where I've seen this shoot happen, but people think it's very glamorous when you're out on the production shoot, but there's actually a lot of waiting around time. And I actually enjoy the post process a lot better. So that's why I became an editor instead. Because by that time, they already shot everything already, and they pretty much delivered the piece to you to edit. So it's kind of like putting all the elements together. I find that's quite challenging. Is when you're in production, you basically just shooting, you're going by the script, you're just capturing the shots and everything. I mean, not that it's not glamorous, but there's a lot of waiting around time. A lot of people don't know about the setup time. It could take hours. They could actually set up a scene, and it could be a couple hours by the time you actually start shooting, because they need to dress the whole set. They gotta light the whole thing. So there's a lot of waiting time around. For me, I don't find that I don't have that kind of patience for one thing. So I'd rather get into an edit room and start working right away. So that's why I chose editing over being a director or a producer or other field.
Okay. What software programs or other special equipment do you use to edit?
I use it's quite the one I use is quite well known in the industry. It's called Avid Media Composer. That's a professional software. It's used by all the top studio. I mean, there's also other editing software too. I mean, there's Final Cut, which is Final Cut Pro. There's Adobe Premiere. There's some other smaller one, but Avid is really the main software to use. You want to get into the professional world, you want to use Avid Media Composer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let me add to that too. It's also, I also know a little bit about Adobe Photoshop and also After Effects. Those two programs actually are quite, to be an editor, it's quite useful to know those two programs too.
Okay. Do you usually edit with multiple people or by yourself, and which do you prefer and why?
It really depends on the job. Possibly rephrase the question. I think to help you, let me repeat the question. So do I prefer to work with multiple people or be by myself? It would depend on the job. First of all, I like the creativity. I prefer a director who gives me some leeway to do my first cut by myself first. I like to have some input.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, I work with multiple people where there's a room with, you get the director, producer, and maybe somebody else in the room, with me. That's not a problem. Or sometimes I might be just with the director. Or sometimes I will edit myself too, It really depends on the job. Sometimes certain job demands the director input. So in that case, I may want to ask the director to be with me. Other job, I may want to have some more creativity. I want to maybe do a rough cut first and show to the director afterward. So it really depends on the job.
Do you consider film editing an easy or a difficult job, and why?
Okay, do I consider film a difficult job? It's not so much difficult. I may want to use the word challenging. It really depends, what kind of material you get. It depends on the genre too. I mean, if I kind of music video, I find it's a lot of fun kind of music video. Because there's really no guideline. You just toss everything and make it work. Maybe I've done a documentary before, and that's probably more time consuming because with documentary you're talking about hours and hours of footage. So you have to go through, pretty much everything. You got to see what you have. So that's kind of like time taking, for one thing. So, but that's the nature of documentary. So I wouldn't say the word difficult, but maybe challenging. I've done one narrative piece, which is like sometimes you don't get the right kind of, camera shot, so you have to try to be creative and make it work. So I'll probably use the word challenging, not so much difficult.
Okay. How has your family and friends reacted as you becoming a film editor?
Well, how did my family react to me when I became a film editor? Well, initially my parents weren't too pleased. As you know, typical Chinese family, they like their kids to maybe, make something that was practical, like, being a lawyer or, being a doctor or something. But gradually my parents accepted it. They saw that, I got a steady job and everything, and I really enjoyed my, my trade. So it's, I think they pretty much accepted it afterward. But, I think it's probably challenging for a lot of Asian families, for a kid to get into filmmaking. Yeah, it's something that they probably question about. Yeah.
Okay. Are any of your family and friends following you as a career in film editing, and if so, who are they?
Well, right now my stepson has a little interest in doing some editing, but it's more as a hobby. As far as other relatives, I don't think so. I think I may have a cousin. I think you may know her as Jocelyn. It's Paul's daughter. I think she majored in communication or film or something. She may have an interest in it. But other than that, no. It's pretty much it's kind of a unique field.
Okay. What are your best and worst experiences in film editing?
Well, see, my best and worst experience. I have a lot of enjoyable moments. I won't say best, but I dealt with interesting topics. I mean, there's like one. This was back in the 90s. I worked in a documentary where it was about the Balkan War, about Bosnia. The director actually went to Bosnia and shot this documentary, and so that was a fascinating subject. Just to edit that one piece. And I also done like some other job I'd done with, like, I would do like celebrity tribute packages. So I had this friend, he's a director, and he actually, was the artistic director at the Santa Barbara Film Festival. So I spent a number of years with him just editing, like, celebrity, like I said, tribute events where they would come in and, they would, it's just to name a few. I mean, I've done one like for, let's see, I've done for Will Smith, I've done a Sean Penn one, Kate Winslet one, Angelina Jolie, just to name a few. So those were enjoyable experiences, just to get all the film kind of montage together and get the scenes and everything. That was a really fun process.
Okay.
And as far as work experience, the worst experience is probably, you might get some this director who are very indecisive. So what's going to happen is you spend hours and hours in the editing room, and he tries to make up his mind. And sometimes, just from my gut feeling, I know a certain cut works well. Okay, and I tell the director, okay, I think this is good the way we have it. Because the director being very indecisive, no, I want to look at it a little bit more. So we spend maybe another half a day or so. And, at the end of the day, we went back to square one. back to the original cut. So it was like kind of a frustrating split because I knew in my heart that like this is already, we have it down already. But the director, he couldn't make up his mind, so it was kind of like a frustrating split because we wasted all that time. But I had a couple of those directors, so that's probably like part of the more worth the split.
Okay. How have you considered any other careers in the past besides editing? What were they, and why did you consider them?
You mean within the film business or outside of the film business?
Maybe outside of the film business.
Well, have I considered other career? Well, maybe early on I'd be, trying to listen to the parents. Maybe at one time probably become a doctor of some sort. Maybe like become a optometrist or something. Maybe in the business field, but it's kind of like I kind of ask myself, do I really have the passion for that kind of thing? So that's why I ended up choosing the film business. I think at the end of the day, I think that was that what I found passionate about. So yeah.
Okay. What additional information or advice would you like to give to anyone who wants to become a film editor in the future?
Well, the film business is a tough business. You're not going to find job security like these other fields. Like I mentioned, like being a doctor or being an accountant or something. So I mean, I've been in this film school I've been working for called AFI, unless you heard of it, Making Film Institute, and I see hundreds of grads come out of that, from that school, and we tell them there's no guarantee in life for the filmmaking business. But if you're totally passionate about it, if that's in your heart, if there's something you want to do, you should pursue it. But if you just do for the heck of it, you may find it very frustrating because there won't be a job waiting out there for you. Unlike some other, you may get a 4-year degree, let's say, from a good 4-year college, and you have a job waiting for you right there. That won't be the case in the film business. In fact, you have to basically pave your road because there's no, nobody's going to hire you off the bat unless you're so talented. But my suggestion, if you want to be let's say a filmmaker, let's say an editor, definitely learn not only the craft of it, but also the art of it. That's important. Anybody could actually, download some software, like, maybe there are free software out there, and you can pretty much just, like at least that you could do an iMovie or something, and you could put something together and call yourself an editor. Okay. But there's a lot more to it, though. You really have to learn the art of it. So if you really passionate about being an editor, I say maybe go through film school, because they will learn, they'll teach you definitely the art how to do it. That's my suggestion.
Okay. What strengths or qualifications are desirable for film editing?
Well, what qualifications? Well, first of all, you need patience. You need a lot of patience because that's one quality. But another quality is you need to be able to collaborate with other people, because filmmaking is a collaborative art. It's something you can't do it yourself. But you think that okay, I could direct, edit, and shoot the whole piece by myself. Chances, it's not gonna be a very good piece of art. You gotta rely on other people, people who actually skill at this other department. Get a good director, get a good cinematographer. So collaboration is very important. Patience, like I said, is very important. Definitely take advantage and learn the skill you have, and use that. I said those are part of the qualities. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome.